Isn't it really lovely, Hohenzieritz Castle?
When the flowers up front start to bloom, it's really great.
Imagine you had such a sleek, high-performance electric SUV and basically drove up here, parked, and then drove away.
Yeah, if only we had one in our lineup.
Exactly, and with that, a warm welcome to a new episode of Simply Electric, where we're diving into the details of the brand new Polestar 3, specifically the dual motor version fully equipped with the performance package. In this performance package, we'll also be accompanied by some colorful accents throughout this fantastic electric SUV, which, as a dual motor with performance package, boasts over 500 horsepower of system power, and of course a few performance-driven features. On top of that, we have a large long-range battery pack with us, and today, in the classic car review, we want to see what the brand new Polestar 3 dual motor with performance package is really capable of. In a few days, there will be a second video naturally with a consumption test and charging check, so you'll be fully informed about this car. But let's get started now. We won't waste any time. Make sure you check again if you're already part of the Simply Electric community. We'd love for you to support us with your subscription, free of charge for you. Now, let's dive into the brand new Polestar 3. And, as always, we begin outside, starting at the front, and check out the front end. The design of the brand new Polestar 3 is empathetic, and it is, of course, aerodynamically optimized. This means we have something like a spoiler at the front over the hood, designed to let the air smoothly flow over the vehicle. This is, of course, super exciting to significantly boost the vehicle's aerodynamics. You can also improve the headlights by integrating HD Matrix headlights or HD Pixel headlights here. The days shifted back to Torshammer, or as Stefan always thinks, after a Tomahawk, but I definitely recommend the HD Matrix headlights, especially if you're often driving in the dark. On the road frequently for long distances, particularly if you're driving the new Polestar 3, yes, we had the performance package, and of course the performance package included high performance wheels. Stefan, right?
Oh yes, beautifully in 22 inches here, 265, 40. Yes, P0 specially engineered for it apparently, says Polestar. In addition, we've got the color accents here once more as part of the package. The performance setup includes this Swedish gold, the valve caps, and the Brembo brake pads.
That looks really super sleek. The rims themselves are glossy black with partial areas high gloss polished, but also in an aerodynamically optimized shape. Feel free to write in the comments how you see it. We have here a snow metallic, which is a white metallic, but I know it's just a little bit different. Silvery light might resemble a pearl or even snow when it sparkles brightly in the sunlight. What can't be missing is a lot of plastic, also here around the wheel arches, just kept matte black in this case. Unfortunately, on the way to the shooting location after the car wash, the car got a bit dirty because we had to endure a rain shower. I'm sorry the car isn't as perfectly clean on the outside as usual, but sometimes we just can't prevent a cloud like that from happening, right?
Well, unfortunately not.
Yes, the rear here is also very coupe-like, elegantly tapered towards the back. That means we have a sloping roofline here. We'll have to check later on if that ends up having an impact on the headroom or not. And they don't have any shark fins. So Polestar can do it if they want to, and what they can also do is this aerodynamically optimized rear edge spoiler that just beautifully floats. When Stefan films a little bit, you see how much air and how downforce could potentially be generated there. Yeah, on one side we completely removed the shark fin. On the other hand, we still have the analog rear wiper, but we couldn't integrate it as air flows through there.
Richtig.
If we visually moved it upwards, it probably wouldn't stand out.
Richtig, ja.
That could be another small option. Yes, LED tail lights are also part of the package. And at the bottom we have a proper rear diffuser again. Also on the sides there are slightly hinted air outlets to make the entire car look as sporty and dynamic as possible. And I have to say, I really like it a lot. It's very well done and impressive. Polestar has always been, even back in the Volvo days, a truly high performance brand. Let's get to the specs. It's 4.90 meters. Long, 1.93 meters wide, including mirrors, 2.12 meters. That means it already exceeds the construction site's left lane width of 2.1 meters. It has a height of 1 meter. For comparison, I'm 1.85 meters tall and it has a clearance of roughly 2.99 meters. In between, there's currently always the long-range version, which means it has a gross capacity of 111 kilowatt hours, of which you can use a total of 107 kilowatt hours net, all connected to a 400-volt system. Yes, back here's the charging port where you can charge at 11 kilowatts three-phase. We're still missing an option, maybe also to charge with 22 kilowatt AC, because that way you can go from completely empty to completely full. Then, of course, in 11 hours with 22 kilowatts, it would reduce it by half. Yes, DC goes up to 250 kilowatts at peak, which means you have a charging time from 10 to 80% in about 30 minutes. But we will figure that out with you during the consumption test and charging check in the second video. Now, let's talk about the price. It starts at 78,590 euros, and as of now, at the time of filming in August, there's even a subsidy of 4,000 euros because it's apparently bought outright. A discount might appeal to bargain hunters, but is time limited. The rear-wheel drive variant has a single motor, 220 kilowatts, 299 horsepower. The optional dual motor offers 200 kilowatts on the rear and 160 kilowatts on the front, totaling 360 kilowatts, just under 500 horsepower. The dual motor costs 85,590 euros and the performance package is 92,190 euros. Both qualify for a 4,000 euro subsidy as of August 2025. The performance package boosts power to 380 kilowatts, 517 horsepower, and includes 910 newton meters of torque, so that's clearly the absolute highlight we get to enjoy while driving the performance variant of this particular model. Let's take a look together under the front hood, and hopefully it's not just technology hidden there, but also a Frunk. And Polestar is a pure electric car manufacturer that also thinks about the Frunk, and under a foldable cover has very neatly created 30 liters of volume here. Good. Underneath there's climate tech, the second motor in the dual motor version, and more. And 30 liters is definitely enough to store a charging cable, to stow it here, and to keep it separate from the other luggage in the trunk, especially during bad weather in fall, winter and spring. Hood lifts are standard, but I think that's something you can probably expect in this price range.
Should be included, yeah.
Polestar skipped the insulation here. If that's good or not, we'll see later. We'll check the interior noise. Now let's hear how it sounds, okay?
All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's listen and see how it sounds now.
Trunk ... I know, much more important than the Frunk is the trunk for you, so the rear cargo area. And at first I thought the button was up here to open it. Absolutely no chance. This is just a cover. I'm really not sure what it's for. Maybe later on to hide an additional camera or something similar. Feel free to share your thoughts and ideas in the comment section below, as the opener is located here above the license plate holder, where the tailgate then opens electrically. You have a beautiful hatch shelf that you can open and close, which is slightly wobbly, but it can definitely hold a coat or a jacket without any problems, like the nodding dog or like before. The toilet paper in the crocheted cover.
Ja, genau.
Yes, very nice. Yes, 484 liters of storage volume is given to us. The padding here looks very nice too, with carpeting everywhere. You guys also have these flaps where you can maybe hide a cool box. You have a 12-volt connection to charge it with a maximum of 120 watts. And you have the push for luck button to lower the air suspension for a lower loading height, which I think is really cool. Let's check it out and see just how far it can go down. That's going to make loading so much easier and more convenient for sure.
Ja, das ist schon gut, ne?
Especially when you have a lot of crates to load here, maybe for the family, the water crates, or for dad, a little beer or something, then you want to have it comfortable.
Perfect for it, yeah.
And if you want it higher again, you simply raise it back up. It's done really well. Anodized and brushed aluminum for the entry strip here, which is also very high quality. Then we have the option to fold it in like this if you want to load things a bit higher. Below is a very nice indentation where you could pack some extra bits and pieces, and so you have the opportunity to configure the trunk of your Polestar 3 very individually. Skiers will definitely be happy with the space and flexibility it offers. because there's a pass-through here, but it's currently hidden by this protective cover. A carpet is in front of it, but you can pass through skis or a long object, and you have the option to essentially expand the 484 liters with a long item. I'll hold it up so you can take a look, or Stefan?
Yes, I see it, yes.
Cool, right?
Fantastic.
And then, of course, you can fold down 60% on the passenger side, right, to significantly increase the overall loading volume. You can still have someone sitting on the driver's side. If they say, it's not enough, I need all the cargo space available, they get everything, right?
Yes, definitely. Just go ahead and flip the page over.
Exactly. An additional 40%, which means you'll ultimately enjoy over 1,400 liters of total storage volume. That fits a lot inside. And the opening here is really cool. It doesn't open like a hatch, but fully all the way back. Yeah. That was brilliantly done. Yeah, who? If you want a roof load, it's available with 100 kilograms. And if you want towing, Stefan?
He has the button for bliss.
Exactly, then the optional trailer hitch extends all the way out electrically. You don't have to touch anything, you don't get your hands dirty or anything. Pretty cool, right?
That's really good, yeah.
Payload of 100 kilograms for a rear bike rack or other accessories. And the 12% brake trailer load is how much, Stefan?
It's 2.2 tons.
That's a lot.
That's neat. That's going to make a lot of you happy. Maybe those of you who have horses, or then maybe also a nice caravan or a sports boat like I used to have, to tow that around as needed. Now let me take a guess at what opens up electrically.
Closes electrically.
Now we'll test if it's true and if it has soft loss. Nice and smooth, nice and quiet, and brilliant. We're done outside, let's move inside. We'll do the window check with you as always, which means 2 panes connected with a foil should ensure good indoor noise, provide good values. We'll of course test that out with you a bit later on. As always, we'll proceed chronologically and take a look at the door panel first. That's well done. Up here there's fabric with a hinted seam. It's also a bit softly underfoamed. That's very important for those who like to rest their elbows on it. Then we have here the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, which is a bit illuminated and lit up in this area with fabric covering and partly with this kind of, yeah, I don't even know, aluminum stainless steel trim. It looks super, super sleek. Here's a bit of piano lacquer, but it's not really distracting here. The window regulators are split, so you switch front and back. It's bearable, and the Mano Ellen handle to open the door is stylishly designed with the locking mechanism neatly placed here. For the central locking system, once more, a nice material almost resembling faux leather. I think it's a microfiber fabric. Everything here feels really top-notch and well-crafted. Below is the Bowers & Wilkins cover, harder plastic at the base but lined with felt inside. Here's a rubber part, and here it's just hard plastic, but I can kind of live with that for now. But a bit of rustling and rattling is fine, and because it's separated here, no large bottle fits in here. So maybe it would have been nicer to leave it open, since many of you probably want to use a large PT bottle in this space. Let's do the soft close check, or also take a closer look now, okay? Welcome here to the interior of the Polestar 3, and I think it's very, very beautiful and feels really premium, but let's stay chronological. We'll start with the head-up display, which of course you can adjust in height and tilt, and it projects the essential information onto the road through the windshield, so to speak. Then we have a driver display mounted on the steering column that moves with it, displaying all the essential information and even navigation data. On the right, the gear selector. On the left, the turn signal with the wiper control. Then we have touch buttons here where we can adjust things, where you could also make the necessary adjustments, but where it kind of feels like you really need a proper manual. Look, we just did it.
Ja, es ist halt auch nichts drauf, ne? Nichts abgedruckt oder so. Man muss
Sneak in some security then.
Same thing here on the left. Everything related to distance control cruise, assistance systems. It's basically started here by double-clicking the gear selector into drive. And here at the button, I also have to get used to it again and recall the driving event, which is almost a year ago. Yes, the whole thing is adjusted through the settings here, where you can then adjust the side mirrors and steering wheel using these buttons, just like the head-up display. That means there are no manual adjustment controls in the door. but I also don't think it's a big deal. Why don't I think it's a big deal? Because I only use it once anyway, to set it up for myself, you know? And then it's fine, right? For someone who has frequent driver changes or that kind of thing, there will probably be a memory function. Of course, if someone is unsure, and there are some colleagues of ours who always struggle with driving into parking garages and scraping their wheels, they might not find it so pleasant. But I've had my license since '93 with alloy rims, scraped in a parking garage and somehow messed up the mirror or flipped it down while reversing or something like that. Well, okay, everyone's different, everyone can do it the way they want. Google Automotive, the Android automotive system is installed here. That's nice, particularly when it comes to the Google Maps system for navigation purposes. You can control all of that using your voice by saying, "Hey Google, drive us to Munich to Viktualien Markt 1.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said there.
Yes, sometimes it works.
Google can still be further improved.
Sometimes it doesn't understand me. Let's try it differently. Hey Google, navigate me to Munich Viktualien Markt 1.
Could you please navigate me to Viktualien Markt 1 in the city of Munich?
Yeah, so
Klassiker.
the classic. It worked in the past, but now it doesn't work anymore. Probably someone came up with something new, but it's really brilliantly done because you can also adjust various settings here like a satellite view. It just features a very, very fast, high-resolution processor built in. You can also filter the charging stations accordingly. You can also filter charging card providers accordingly if you happen to have a subscription with a specific provider, for example. We have a modern tile layout here for the essentials. Then, of course, you also have the option to use the Google Play Store to continuously integrate new apps and new programs into the vehicle, so it should actually be future-proof as well. And during the charging break, you can, of course, also watch our videos here conveniently through the YouTube app. We've also got a nice settings menu here, solved with this quick access function, where you can tweak everything again. You can verify it, including the sound focus of the Bowers and Wilkins sound system, which I highly recommend for anyone audio savvy. What's really great is that besides Android phones, you also have Apple CarPlay wireless integrated into the vehicle. It's beautifully incorporated across the entire screen area. The only downside might be the vertical form, Stefan. What do you say?
Yeah, so a swivel one would be cool, so you could pull it a bit wider for a better viewing experience, like we'll soon see with BYD. That's what I'd want too, it'd be cool.
Especially when using entertainment features. Down here is a really handy quick access level. It's all sleekly done, even the AC controls here. It's all really brilliant. Yes, we have the inductive charging pad up here. Then we have the volume controls here, including play and pause. I find it really convenient when you need to stop the music or start it up again quickly.
Richtig.
And that would theoretically still function if you had already chosen some music here earlier, but we didn't. Then here we have like a kind of shutter to open, but it's all piano lacquer. Unfortunately, it's only scratch prone, dust prone, fingerprint prone. I might have wished for a different material mix. Yeah, 2 cup holders to maybe portion and station coffee cups in a more convenient way. And here's a really big storage compartment. Take a look at how deep it goes down to then also to stash a bunch of stuff. Here, it might have been nice to have a small compartment so I could keep my coins there. I could see a parking meter junkie choosing coins over apps like Easy Park for a change.
So casually tossing in the 50-cent coin like that.
That's how it is when you're born in '75.
6 minutes, 50 cents, just the same as always.
Yes, here's another nice fabric. Feels almost like faux leather, but it's more like neoprene, also very, very soft. That means I have here, take a look, a really fantastic ergonomic design, which I'll also show you in just a moment from the passenger side door right over there now. Through the passenger door, you can see even better how ergonomically sensible it is for me to sit here and how I can adjust everything to my desired position. The steering wheel is also electrically adjustable in both height and distance, of course. You see the nice open structure that electromobility enabled for us. We have 2 USB-C ports and a small compartment for securely clipping something inside. I don't know what it's for, maybe for a second smartphone. Then you have a nice storage space here for a small purse, for a handbag. You can see there are 2 levels here. I didn't find a 12-volt outlet. Stefan, did you spot one?
Look again. Nope, I don't see one here either.
Probably the one in the trunk then. Here you can also open the glove compartment via the display, which is nicely lined with felt. It opens and closes very smoothly, and it's about the quality feel. Look up here again, this nice fabric with the seam, and over here also with chrome, you've got the manual adjustment for the air vents. It's got that wood-like finish. Look, it would have been really stylish here, I think, because it's nicely matte and resistant to scratches, dust, and fingerprints. And then, well, the highlights at Polestar were always the seats, which, similar to Volvo's, provided both comfort and great aesthetics, which just have nice shoulder padding up here, great lumbar support here, and then of course plenty of thigh support both up and down. Then you have the option here to manually extend the seat base a bit further as well. I think that's really, really neat, especially for taller individuals with longer legs. It's a great feature. With the Barris & Wilkins sound system, you even included extra speakers directly built into the headrests for an enhanced audio experience. We will of course test it out later during the sound check to hear exactly how it sounds. Yes, what is a highlight for me is definitely the huge glass roof, but what I don't really see as a highlight is that I can't somehow darken it with a blind or anything similar to that at all. I also don't have a button to create any sort of blur effect or something similar to that. In the peak of summer, the sun just blasts directly onto your head without mercy. I know from other vehicles how uncomfortable that can be. Right now, in early August, we're in this changeable weather phase with more clouds, rain, and just occasional sun. And of course, I'm enjoying the light. That probably means when you drive a Polestar to the right regions, you can also see the northern lights through the glass when you're sitting in the back.
That's what it's designed for.
Oh, I see. Well, that's obviously really, really cool. What I don't find as cool, though, are the door entries. Unfortunately, Polestar, like other car manufacturers, opted for a hard plastic there, but at least with a small trim piece. Yes, otherwise performance, we've hinted at it repeatedly, you know.
Sweet gold.
Okay.
And then here it's also a bit tougher. You can make it clatter. You can definitely do that for sure. I'll switch to the subjunctive. With us, it didn't clatter earlier on Strindlitzer Straße because it's a bit softer and foam cushioned here. So up here it's just hard, and well, up here there's black fabric, no Alcantara, but is Alcantara really necessary to have? I don't know. I think that's also kind of a matter of individual taste and preference. I did that, I think, almost 5 years ago at Pulsar, and I managed to hit my head not once, but twice.
And since then, we've always made sure to remember it.
Skull check along the sloping roof lines, like here when we perform the saddle fit test. I'm 1.85 meters tall, like a fawn, 99.9 kilograms heavy, and always make sure to tuck my head in when getting into the back of the fund.
You're sitting pretty nicely in there.
Yeah, really awesome, right? I'm not sitting as awkwardly as in some SUVs where you feel elevated in the back, you know? I can really shove my feet under the front seats here and look at all the space I have. That's almost 2 fists of space to the passenger seat adjusted to the B-pillar line. I've got a nice center armrest here, softly padded underneath, so I've got plenty of room to move my elbow around freely without accidentally landing in a cup holder, because the cup holder, that's where Polestar is clever. It's nicely separated here, and when you don't need it, you can just fold it away, and it still works even with the third headrest. Why does Polestar get it right while others struggle to match? Well, you see, that's exactly why constructive criticism is always somewhat justified, you know? The ISOFIX attachments hidden behind these caps are well done, as long as you don't lose or misplace them somewhere inconvenient. But then you can properly install on the driver's side and the passenger side, theoretically 2 ISOFIX child seats accordingly. If you come inside with me, dear Stefan, you'll see the 3-zone air conditioning where we can of course set the temperature accordingly. We have the option to control the rear seat heating, which our test vehicle has in 3 stages, plus the air vents right here, plus 2 USB-C ports. I think it's been really well executed. We also have air vents in the B-pillar. That's also pretty good, especially if you, like me, used to often secure our Labrador dog on the back seat. That there's always a nice airflow circulating here. You also have the climate control function, so when you park and maybe leave your dog in the car for a short time, because you quickly grab something, the car keeps the climate just right. Polestar offers this as well. I find it super, super brilliant. The rear seat backs are also made to a high standard. Even though it's plastic, it feels soft to the touch. Here in the back, we have the option to store a tablet, a smartphone, or even just a classic electric drive magazine or the latest T&E magazine tucked behind it. Both of them are enjoyable as our test report is in both. And otherwise, I must say I'm sitting really comfortably here. Everything here is on one level with a continuous foot mat. Nicely done. So I really have to say, if you also take care of the door trim at the back to finish it off. Oh, wait here, look at this. Oh, check it out, it's really soft. There's no rattling here at all. Look how soft this is. Finally, let's check out the door trim. Polestar doesn't cut corners like some other brands, but ensures quality both in the front and the back. Same standard. Let's close the door again to see if it has soft close at the back. I shut it lightly. Now let's see if Stefan can manage it. Oh, he did. We're done on the outside.
We're all set inside now.
What comes next?
Factory!
Yay! Let's experience those over 910 Newton meters right here on Mecklenburg's roads with the dual motor and its truly impressive raw power. 517 horsepower, you're definitely coming along. It's starting and now on with the test drive of the Polestar number. Moondram. We'd like to take a closer look at the turning circle here in the Polestar 3, and it measures 11.80 meters. That's okay for the vehicle size of 4.90 meters, but it's also not a record because many vehicles now have rear wheel steering up to 10 degrees like a Mercedes. The EQS, for example, where you can then reduce the turning circle by a significant 1.20 meters, giving you much better maneuverability in urban areas. It doesn't have rear axle steering, not even as an option. Now let's see how we can reverse park into such a tight parking spot. But there's definitely some assistance on board here. There are many optional packages that include, for example, a 360-degree camera system included in them. You have nice guidelines on one hand for the wheel track and also for the overall boundary of the vehicle itself, providing clear assistance. There will always be a bit of noise with it as well. It's actually quite well done, isn't it?
Yeah.
With a 180-degree view, if kids or cyclists pass by, you won't end up sliding into anything.
It's a really great riding angle.
Then we had the opportunity to have a three-dimensional effect, where we also got a nice top-down view. That might also be interesting for those who are worried about their rims, so they roughly know. Am I grinding something there or not, right? And then you have the option, of course, when you drive forward, to also look around 180 degrees beside the top view and see everything very clearly. Are there pedestrians? Are there cyclists? Stefan, swing it to the right of the vehicle that's parked there. That would be roughly my view. I wouldn't see anything there, but through the front camera, I caught it quickly. And by the way, also quite high up, you got to give credit when there's something to give credit for. Yeah, we're going to drive over the cobblestones together with you all at 30 kilometers per hour, which is the maximum allowed speed here. Here's where it really pays off, what we've been talking about. Everything's joined, insulated, and lined. Nothing rattles here, nothing rustles at all, and our meat loft is completely filled with water. You already noticed that from the rain shower earlier. The forest ferry, he's doing great though. Performs efficiently because Polestar is indeed a sporty vehicle. And sporty naturally means firm, yet comfortably firm and responsive. The sporty support also includes sporty settings. Take a look, Stefan. First, you can activate creep mode or one pedal mode here. We have the option to activate an elevated chassis for off-road and a hill descent control. We have the range driving mode where it kind of keeps an eye on performance to make sure we don't use too much energy. And we have the option to switch to full power. Then naturally, both electric motors are permanently and fully optimized for maximum performance mode. We have the option to set the steering feel to light, medium or firm. I also think that's cool. And for the suspension feel, there's medium, agile and firm. So you can adjust all of that accordingly. Just like the one pedal driving, so we can also hear whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, it turns so fast, right?
910 Newton meters, that's really nothing.
That definitely makes it fun, no doubt.
We've arrived at our test track. It's a little on the curvy side, you know. I switched to the sporty suspension. I set it to performance mode so we can really accelerate quickly and deliver strong, responsive performance that handles it so smoothly. There's no body roll, no leaning at all. It stays nice and stable even in the corner, and that matches our driving impression back then from the test drive. They hosted it. You remember Bergen? And even though the road here is still a bit slippery from the rain, you still feel absolutely safe with the Fat. 22-inch rims. So it's really a great combination. Now we're driving again at 70 kilometers per hour, a left-right combination. I always call it the Suzuka S or Stefan.
Right, just the cheap one?
Yes, in Mecklenburg. No, and it's really a great story because, well, here we were really loyal to the line, very straightforward with this over 2.5-ton electric SUV. We managed to move a curb weight of 2,584 kilograms. Our route continues, and here we've got this sharp 90-degree turn that we always talk about, reaching the field or the curve. Yes.
Right here, see?
Then keep your fingers crossed that we can make it around the curve. And honestly, it's just super stable and feels really solid overall. We don't have a tripod, but it's stable. I have to say it's great. No annoying wobbling and nothing like the usual. Pushing out over the front axle. He really does. Excellent. Let's measure 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, once with the car's performance mode. You see this here, and of course also with our Dragiped GPS Stefan Man countdown.
3, 2, 1, let's get this show on the road.
He's giving it a nice push. 30, 50, 90, 100, and of course we're doing the brake check and really pushing it to the limit. Holy crap, the Brembo, man, it's insane.
Okay, so who do we trust more now? What do you think?
Well, what does it say?
Draghi. Draghi says 0.60 and 3.11. Then we've got here 2.3. I'll attempt to capture both in one shot. Here we've got 0.80, 3.2. We didn't catch that on the Draghi. But for 0.100, we measured 5.61 on the Draghi. And here it's April 6th.
The Draghi's more accurate with the second GPS antenna, but let's keep it nice here. Take this curve. Without ESP, we really have to rely on the chassis now, no electronic aids, to drive our favorite stretch here at a steady 100 kilometers per hour. That's really confident. It doesn't push over the front wheels, it stays completely constant. We have hardly any body roll or pitching here. If I take a look at the steering wheel now, which we should definitely do with 517 horsepower, because it's also a bit about our situation here, I just have to say, Polestar has really engineered again and truly pushed the performance of the Polestar 3 with the performance package, right?
Absolutely, it's such a real blast.
We of course also want to show you the opposite direction, and here, cruising smoothly at 100 kilometers per hour, will very nicely drive along the road in the other direction as well. There were two cyclists here. Let's see how we react with the Polestar 3. But here as well, it nicely goes through the curves, holds the curve beautifully. That's really great. We even beat the factory figure.
Yeah, nice.
4.7 and 4.6? Yep.
Very good.
So it's about our test track here, right? Because some say this isn't a certified test track. But if it wasn't certified, you couldn't undercut anything, could you?
Right, exactly.
We're going to measure the interior noise levels at 50 kilometers per hour. Wow, 52, 53 decibels, peak value at 70 kilometers per hour. 55, 56 decibels, that's in comparison with the Mercedes S-Class at 50 kilometers per hour. We accelerate up to 100 kilometers per hour. 61, 63 decibels. For comparison, the VW ID.3 is around mid-70 decibels. How quiet is this Polestar 3? Feel free to write it in the comments. We're really looking forward to testing the assistance systems here on the country road with you, and have already activated the steering assist, lane assist, and of course the adaptive cruise control. And it does it very neatly, nicely keeping to the center of the lane here. The system appears to be functioning much better than in our previous Polestar M4, which we presented to you only a few weeks back. Take a look here. The 4 clearly failed, I recall, and the 3 just pushed through as if nothing had happened.
Yes, and he also adjusted the speed down a bit.
Exactly, so he recognized that there's a curve coming up and that you should drive slower in the curve. We also have a capacitive control system here on the steering wheel. That means 3 fingers appear to be sufficient to touch the wheel, signaling to the vehicle that we are, as expected, actively paying attention and engaged. Yes, now it's going from 100 to 70. It also shows 70 kilometers per hour and seems like Nope, it didn't take over. Now it has, nope, it didn't take over, so it's not changing. The speed setting here in the controller,
Now it's reaching 100.
exactly, now it's at 100. He didn't do it either. What am I supposed to do now? Absolutely nothing at all, just wait. Do I need Manuel? Just look, Manuel's right here now.
Push it up nice.
That's naturally annoying. Oh, yes, that's exactly what we unfortunately had to view constructively critically with the Polestar 4 as well. Which means, of course, that we simply don't have any adaptive controls, not even through pressing the OK button. Maybe I'm just not in the position to take control of it again, a user error. Maybe I need to press a button that's not labeled here on the steering wheel to get it to function properly. Please share it in the comments. We're eager to learn with you since no one really took the time to show us how it works. It's a shame because many manufacturers like VW, BMW, Mercedes, and even a French one have predictive systems. So predictive means anticipatory. It can even do that. It knows that 70 is coming. So now we have 70 here. Let's see. Nope. Down. Nope. I pressed everything now, but it's still not managing to reach 70. So there must be another trick. It's really disappointing because many of you also enjoy using this over land here like this. I also like to use it, even Stefan uses it now, that you get a bit of semi-autonomous support because you can always get a bit distracted, maybe because someone is telling something or you're listening to an interesting podcast or some message is being read out in Apple CarPlay and maybe you get distracted by that. And that's nice, isn't it? By the way, he also knows again that 50 is coming, so he already knows predictively. He just probably doesn't know how to implement it yet. Could that be?
Yes, probably. It's a bit tricky to figure it out.
But you could solve that through software with an update, right? South. Yes, Polestar can detect it visually, but apparently not yet in the current software version to take over in the speed range. Accordingly.
This is simply electric.
Bauhaus and Wilkins sound system. Yes, that's absolutely right. Your new song, Simple Electric, is making waves and truly capturing the essence of modern sound design perfectly.
Rolling down the highway, lights are shining bright.
Nice sound.
No smoke in the night.
Clear mid-range. Punch and what else, carrying all the way through to the sustain, but right there at that point. So personally, I've always been a fan of sound systems, especially Bowers and Wilkins, which is just top-notch quality, you know? They really deliver that crisp, immersive experience every time. The highs are crisp and sharp.
Let's dive into the driving and travel comfort aspects to ensure we can compare all the tested vehicles in a genuinely honest and transparent way here today, of course. We thought how to create a parameter.
Well, how exactly?
Yes, on the relevant online platforms, we didn't find anything at all. 5 years ago, we decided to come up with the idea of Stefan's popometer. It has since been calibrated, verified, tested, transparent, approved by the equality officer. I don't know what else there is.
A whole stack of it, just the folder we've got for this, so they'll actually believe us.
Yeah, but it's in the trunk.
It's...
All right, so just in case you guys stop us and say, hey, we might also have a bill for Stefan's popometer. No, jokes aside. Stefan, how's the driving feel? What do you think about the chassis, the seating, and the ride comfort out on the road and through the city? Next video, consumption and charging check on the car. Let's not get ahead of ourselves today, right here in this car.
And I'll start as usual with the seats. I find them super comfortable. I think it's really cool that there's a speaker in the headrest. It's really cool, it has noise cancellation and soft padding. I find it very comfortable, otherwise I'm sitting very comfortably. I can adjust the seat electrically in all directions. Electrically, not manually. It's all super great and I'm really impressed with the suspension. It's absolutely fantastic, smooth and responsive. Especially that you can adjust it like that, and that I just want it to be firm. I can definitely drive it a bit more comfortably. Like this, I find it awesome. No major. Well, rocking or tilting movements. I think it's great, really comfortable.
Yes, I can only fully agree with that. I've never been a fan of SUVs and could never imagine owning one personally, honestly. But by now I have to say the new suspensions that car manufacturers like Polestar are making, they actually create this added factor through suspension technology. Combined with a large battery pack that has a low center of gravity, makes it nearly unmatched compared to a sedan.
Exactly, we're talking about a vehicle height of just over 1.60 meters. That's not even what you'd consider a proper SUV, really.
Over 20, 25, or maybe even 30 years ago, the Mercedes ML was one of the very first SUVs to make its debut on the automotive market. If you didn't have the AMG version, the 55 compressor or something like that, a friend's parents had it back then. It was around the late 90s, if I'm not wrong. But I might be wrong, maybe early 2000s. It was just a rocking horse.
Yeah, right.
So, and nowadays, those vehicles like the Porsche Cayenne, Turbo GT, or whatever they're all named, all the way up to the Aston Martin DBX and so on and so forth. Those are all, if you will, actually high-performance cars, without a doubt, no question. Super sports cars in an SUV form, right?
Exactly, and you don't even notice anymore that you're actually driving an SUV, but rather a nice sedan, just with a slightly higher seat.
And there, I think Polestar really stands out, and that starts at 78,590 euros. Honestly, I have to say, here you clearly get the performance package and the dual motor starting at 92,190 euros, and it really offers a lot. And even here on the cobblestones at 30 kilometers per hour, where it sways you around, it remains firmly comfortable but still pleasant.
Yes, look at that, see?
A nice Kia EV3 here in Mecklenburg, and I really have to admit, I probably need to slightly adjust my opinion. Maybe it could even happen at some point that I might become the owner of an electric SUV myself. Let's keep it in the subjunctive. For those of you who are fans of electric SUVs, if you're after something with great performance, a sporty edge, and a unique, attractive presence on the road, I think the Polestar 3 is definitely very high, if not at the top of your consideration list for sure. And that is pretty much the ideal transition now to move forward with the final thoughts on the Polestar 3 dual motor, a version that comes equipped with the performance package. And I have to say, Polestar has created a car that might even have certain unique features, mainly because it delivers a maximum sporty character and stands out in its class. It caters to that character, just like here with the roundabout where everyone would go straight, but the traffic guidance actually directs us around. And where Polestar has managed to seamlessly integrate sporty genes into an electric SUV, truly showcasing it at its very best. That combined with what I think is an excellent design. So from the front, it looks absolutely awesome. From the back, it looks awesome. From the side, it looks awesome. With big 22-inch wheels on it, looks awesome. So inside, I think it's an absolute scene stealer, a modern interior where a high-quality mix of materials combines with modern leather-free interiors. If you naturally want leather, you should definitely get it, including optional seat ventilation, as far as I know, and seat massage functionality. But if you prefer not to have it, like here, leather-free, you can still get it exactly that way as well. Now, everything is really stylish and very, very high quality, plenty of space up front here with us. But in the back, as we showed, the trunk, yeah, a Skoda Enyaq has 580 liters. If you have 100 liters less here, it's definitely a bit of a bummer. The 30 liters in the Frunk on top don't really help much either. You might have expected more, but it's kind of like, well, what do you call it? It's just one of those things, I guess, but it is what it is. Back in the day, you would have called it a dandy car, right? For those young, wild, modern, and totally insane types who aren't always focused on maximum space and travel comfort. Instead, they want to cruise differently, they want power, they want unique visual features, and they want to make a statement with their car that aligns with their personality. Only the Polestar 3 does that.
So you should definitely take a look at it.
Please test drive them. There are several Volvo dealers that also have Polestar, as well as direct Polestar options, to also arrange that online, hopefully near you. And then Polestar offers, because they are of course part of a large corporation where experienced car manufacturers are also involved, like for example Volvo, also the most attractive leasing and financing conditions.
Right, and as we mentioned earlier, the timing of this video also includes that current €4,000 bonus.
4 grand, don't pass that up if you're thinking about a car now. Decide, and if you even stay under, I think it was, I'm not sure, 90 or 100 grand, then you can actually take full advantage and enjoy a tax rate as low as 0.25%. That might also serve as a solid argument for opting for a single motor variant with a few additional packages, or even a dual motor configuration with just the most essential features included. Everything would be optional and could still potentially qualify for the reduced 0.25% tax rate as a business owner or operator. So I'd say go ahead and explore your impressions in the Polestar configurator, and don't miss the second video coming in a few days, where we'll also show you the consumption and charging check, of course. Plus the highway comfort and assistance systems. I think it'll be really exciting to help you form a final judgment. So it's more of an interim summary, right? Interim summary. And with that, we've now officially wrapped up today's video about the Polestar 3. Yes, soon the next video covers consumption and charging. And there we will also determine the consumption over land and through the city of New Brandenburg, so that you will be better informed about the consumption figures. Yes, we would be happy if you liked the video and gave it a thumbs up. Check if you're already part of the Einfach elektrisch community. If not, we'd be really happy if you did. Supporting us with your subscription is free for you, but it's a huge help for us to grow the channel. And like I said, feel free to share your thoughts on the Polestar 3 in the comments. Thanks for watching, stay well, and see you soon, your Ollie. You, Stefan, I really don't think it's great that he's missing a shark fin now.
Got no complaints, huh?
Yeah, it's getting less and less, isn't it?
It's a positive sign that the manufacturers are starting to listen. It's all right.
Do you think they always watch our videos and take constructive feedback right into account?
Sure.